Hey, Ike Taylor and everyone else within the sound of my voice, I want to tell you about a great new podcast. It's called Outside the Box. If you're a maker, an innovator, or even just a consumer who wants to peek behind the curtain, steel or otherwise, some of the world's greatest organizations, you're going to love it. The latest episode, now available, features former NFL commish Paul Tagliabue, which is the most fun commissioner name to say in history. Tagliabue! Talking about the massive innovations both on the field and off that help football become America's most popular game. He also talks about the opportunities and challenges the leagues faced and the ones that are similar in pro football to all businesses. Check it out along on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Speaking of podcasts, let's get to the DDFP.
The Dave Dameshek Football Program. Available on iTunes and at davedameshek.nfl.com. Now here's your host, Dave Dameshek.
That's me sniffing the air. It's time to get serious about football. Thanksgiving is nearly upon us. So is Pie Off 6. Hi and hello and welcome to the Dave Dameshek Football Program, everybody. I hope all's well wherever you are. We're ready to roll here. In Studio 66, seated to my immediate left, my main man. 12 years he wore the number 24 in black and gold. Now he is a star at NFL Media. Watch him on Good Morning Football, the weekend edition with our pal the Wolfe and everybody else on that show on Saturday mornings. You watch him on Monday nights after Monday Night Football, doing it, breaking it down with Cole Wright and everybody. It's Ike Taylor. What's the poop, fella?
What's up, Shek?
How are we?
Coolin'.
Coolin'? You know what's great news? Before anything else, Emma VP behind the glass, I don't know if you've arranged a parade yet for me, but at 7-2, my prediction, Ike, 13-3 for your Pittsburgh Steelers is looking very realistic all of a sudden.
You predicted 13-3?
That's right, I did, and I predicted the last 5 records that they've had in a row.
You've been on the money.
Why? Where's my parade, Emma?
You've been on the money.
I know. So why not? Where I want trombones
because we ain't worrying about the record. We need the rings.
I agree. What's that noise? What is that about? Is that the move along sound? I don't even know what that is, Emma VP. Oh, that's the parade. That's not what I'm talking
That's like
about.
A little.
That's not the scale of what I'm looking
Yeah,
for. Yeah,
on the scale, which your prediction has been good, but that's been doing the regular playoffs. We need the ring. So
right.
When you gonna predict we're gonna get a ring?
I'd like to do it right now for you.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, Ike. There's a team down in Duval County named the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right.
Our pal Maurice Jones-Drew, and Colleen the Wolfe coming up in just a matter of minutes here with our weekly Q&A. I think, Ike, that team can win the Super Bowl. I think it can go to the Super Bowl. Do you agree or not?
Disagree.
Let me tell you something. Let me give you some reasons. I don't need to dip back into the 70s.
It'll take 2 minutes, so it'll probably take 2 minutes for you.
All right, I'm not talking about the 85 Bears or any of that business. Let me just stay in this century. Baltimore Ravens at the turn of the millennium. The 02 Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Sean King and Brad Johnson and all that. I guess you could even make a case for the 05 Steel or the 04 Steelers with rookie Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson with a dominant defense, and the 2015 Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning, name brand aside, was the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. They won the Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning knew where he was going. Now, he probably couldn't get the ball there,
right,
but he knew exactly where the ball needed to go. Blake
doesn't know.
Blake trying to get a ball game away. He trying. Did you watch the last ball game?
I did.
Against San Diego?
I saw it.
He tried to give that ball game away. It's a difference between I'm not mobile enough in Peyton Manning and I'm throwing ducks right now, but I know where to go with the ball because I'm reading coverages and this guy should be open. Lord, help me get the ball there. Then a guy who's very athletic and be like, you know what? The kitchen is hot. I'm going to close my eyes. Somebody, please, from the Jacksonville Jaguars receiving core or tight end in Mercedes, catch this ball. It's a big difference.
All right, I hear you. But I will say this. I do like that they get those 15-yard penalties for taunting and everything else, and the serious football men say, you can't win in this league playing that way. Well, yes, you can because they keep winning games. So I guess you can win that way. I like the way the Pittsburgh Steelers play. I like the collegial feel. It seems like with few exceptions in football, you always hear about this locker room has come together as one. It's a family now. When teams get on a roll, they always are talking about that. We're there for each other, right? We always got each other's backs, all that stuff. I feel like that defines the Steelers' defense, even without Joe Hayden.
Yeah, the defense for sure. The offense and Coach Todd Haley, they gotta get it together.
I agree.
And for them to beat the Patriots, because you can say what you want to say, you're looking at the Patriots at the end of the tunnel. I don't care which you gonna play them twice.
Patriots are going to put mid-20s, 30-ish
you're gonna play
up on you,
them
right?
twice. You're going to play them right now in the regular season, and you're going to see them in the playoffs. That's just how the story will end. So you're playing for the Patriots right now. The thing is, the defense is playing good. Last year we was talking about the defense. I don't think the defense played too bad. Our high expectations for the offense really wasn't exceeded.
This is right when the defense took off a year ago.
Correct. So they ended up very well, especially the second half of the season. Now you see them boys balling right now throughout the whole season in Pittsburgh. But on the offensive side on Pittsburgh, it starts with Le'Veon Bell. As good as Ben is, as good as AB is, as good as of a rookie as Juju Smith-Schuster has been, and the talent that Marte has, I think at some point in time you wanted to pass first to run. No, you got to run first to pass. The offense is as good as Le'Veon Bell goes. So if you want to rely on the perimeter guys, right now that's not going to cut it because we tried it. We tried it a long time. And if you want to talk about averaging points per game, we're low at the totem pole when you want to talk about points per game. So you want to talk about these points and what we have, it hasn't been shown. Got the talent, hasn't been shown.
I agree with that. If your glass is half full, there's a real good chance that this team is about to take off offensively, and I think the Atlanta Falcons' defense is about to take off just to work that.
See, I think the Atlanta Falcons' offense is about to take off, and don't get me wrong, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers' offense finally is about to take off.
I want to show you something real quick. We told Ryan Shazier, we talked to him about what his interception celebration, his touchdown celebration. You encouraged him to make it into just an INT celebration, and here's how he paid it off on Sunday. You have something planned with all the fellas on D?
Man, one of the things we was thinking about is like all of us running the tunnel. Then we just link up like we about to take a group picture at the club or something. Because you know all the people going to be taking pictures.
Oh, that's going to be fire. But Shay, why y'all don't celebrate after the picks? Like just
man, we be having stuff, man. You know, but defensive players sometimes, man, when you get to play, sometimes it just happens. You know, you don't.
You're an inspiration, Ike Taylor, to the current Pittsburgh Steelers. I still think that they should do the Vontaze Burfict run off the field wagging a finger when the game's not over.
Why we keep talking about
him
and giving him credit? Like if we just
because it was funny that they did the impression of Jalen Ramsey and AJ.
It's coming. It's coming.
All right. Well, I hope they get 55 too. All right, Ike Taylor. Hey, by the way, coming up on the next podcast on DDFP this week, we're joined by TJ Carey of the Oakland Raiders. He and Ike talk about the Oakland Raiders, the big game coming up against the New England Patriots. It really is good stuff. Like, you spared no feelings there. We already recorded in case you're confused.
I wasn't disrespectful, right?
You were not disrespectful. Okay. No, you were helpful. You critiqued him, you know?
Gotcha.
You understand what I mean.
I see what you mean.
All right, here we go. Let's get to the Q&A with Maurice and the Wolfe.
You listen to Dave Dameshek.
Thanks, Dave. Now I'm back here in Studio 66. I lied a little bit. The Wolf is not here just yet. She'll be along momentarily for the Q&A, but so what? Because seated to my immediate left now, replacing his pal, number 24, Ike Taylor, all the way from the East Bay to Jacksonville, then back to the East Bay, then down the 1. Yeah, it's the 1. Yeah, so I should know that.
1.
Yeah, you take the 1 to get down here. From
5.
The 5?
Yeah.
That's what they call. What do they call that? The grapevine?
Yeah.
No, you take the scenic route, friend.
The 101.
The 1? No, the 1, not the 101. You take the 1 to get down here.
You can't take the 1 because the 1, there was a mudslide that took half of the 1 out. So now if you do go that way, you have to hop back on the 101 for a little bit and then get back over onto it. So you might as well just take the 101 and get a little bit of the scenic route.
Thus ends this improvised episode of The Californians from Saturday Night Live. Now let's kibitz about the game of pro football with our pal, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Straight out of Oakland, that's where he's born and grown. Drafted by the Jaguars, addicted
That's enough. That's enough. I like that you're addicted to the end zone. You admit your issues and you tackle them head on.
That's the first thing you have to do.
That's right. Yeah.
In order to get over it.
That's right. You've taught us a lot about the right frame of mind for the game of football and the game of life, haven't you, Maurice?
You know, I actually learned more about the game of life here because football was my life.
Yeah.
Once this is
integrating you back into regular citizenship.
A couple weeks ago, my guy Zach was in the hospital. We were talking, and he was kind of talking about retirement and all these things. And I was like, Zach, you know, you can still play though. It's not like you can't play. It's not like once you rehab all the way back, you'll still be able to go out on the field and make magic. I said, but let me tell you something. Once you retire, there's a whole new world out there that you don't know anything about.
So you like it? Retirement.
Oh yeah,
couple years.
I get 24 hours to really expand my mind. Like we're gonna do I'm gonna go on Twitter today and send out a book club thing. I know we did that last week. Want to kind of see people's minds, get a book club going. Get to watch TV, and it's not always sports. Get to be dad finally for a little bit.
Czech Republic weighed in. They've offered up some.
We could do that. We could take
I'll read a book. I'll probably listen to it actually.
Yeah, a chapter a week. Okay. I mean, that's pretty simple.
We should settle on. I don't know about fiction, biography.
Do we want to go self-help? Like, what do you want to do?
Not self-help. I don't know. That's not for me. Unless you write it. If you write a self-help,
I actually am writing a book right now.
Is that true?
I wrote one, but I'm just I wrote it like a couple years ago.
No way.
I swear.
About self-help.
Yep. Know your worth. That's what this book's called.
And it teaches you. So somebody like me, I could read it.
No, or
Ryan Bartlett behind the glass could read it, and next year he could be an NFL running back.
No. It's more about some of the things that I went through in life, everyday things, and then kind of how I handled it, and then how I learned as I've gotten older how I should have handled it.
Well, let me tell you something. We had in here, we already recorded it, and yet we're not gonna play it for you until the second podcast of the week coming up on Thursday. Look for that. Matter of fact, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe on iTunes now so you don't miss it. We had T.J. Carey of the Oakland Raiders. He also went to your high school.
He did.
I asked him, is Maurice a legend there? He said, oh, yeah, pictures all over the place. And he mentioned your teacher who still has your photograph hanging.
Yeah, that's Miss Sarver.
That's right.
She wants us to call us Linda. She goes, call me Linda. I was like, I can't.
No, you can't.
Miss Sarver has always been good. But see, the funny thing about TJ, I didn't even know TJ was around because I used to hang out with his older brother, but I never saw him before because they always used to keep him in the house. So I used to hang out with his older brother all the time, and then finally I go to
the house.
Yeah, it's funny. I go to the Raiders. They draft him, and the school goes, "Yo, you guys just drafted a Spartan." I go, "Who?" They go, "Carey." I go, TJ Carey. I was like, his brother named Eric? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, so I called Eric, like, you got a brother named TJ?
Hey, well, he says you've been nothing but helpful and giving him some great advice on being a pro football player and all that.
Just try to, my last year in Oakland, I was there to be a teacher for the most part. I tried to end it on a high note, but I felt like off the field was higher than it was on the field, obviously.
Who did that for you? Fred Taylor?
Oh, yeah, Fred Taylor. There was a ton of guys that did it. Byron Leftwich. I mean, there was a lot of guys that kind of took me in. I just tried to give TJ a little bit of what life is like after. I know he did broadcast. I don't want to say he did communications in college. So I was like, well, if you like broadcast, you should try it out like now. Mm-hmm. You're year one. You should go do things
That's
now
right.
and start to do little things and figure it out. And so he came here and he's been to other places and he's doing some things and it's nice. He's a great public speaker too. Great public speaker.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he was really great. Ike also spares no feelings or any critique. He told we were talking about the Raiders against the Patriots and the largesse of this game for the Raiders, and Ike told him basically what's wrong with the Raiders defense. So make sure you check that out. I'll tell you, Maurice, what is it like? Because I remember in the first year or two that I was working here at the NFL, and I was at the Combine in Indianapolis and down on the field and having a catch with Michael Irvin of all people, which was a surreal experience. And at some point, he jokingly, I threw it to him in the empty stadium, and he caught it in the corner of the end zone, and he turned to the non-existent crowd and held his arms out like he used to do. And I said to him, "Do you miss that? Do you miss getting to do that?" And Michael Irvin's, his history is pretty well known, and so we know he's had some fun in his life.
No question.
And he said, "I'll tell you, I've had my good times, but there's nothing like 75,000 people cheering for you." Do you miss that at least?
I think what I miss more is Sundays. Just that to me is the fun part of the game when I was such a student of the game, and football like consumed my life so much that I was a horrible dad, right? A horrible husband, horrible son, because all I cared about was being the best. Like that, I told my wife this. I was like, I feel like you're my mistress and football's my wife, and I'm cheating on it when I'm with you, right? But that's how I felt. And she
kind of
understood
flattering
that.
for her in
Well,
a way.
she understood that
Right.
though, and so she allowed me to do kind of get done what I wanted to get done, and then that's why when I retired, I was like, I'm good now. Like I gave football everything I had. There was nothing like I still have more left. Like no, I gave it everything. So, when you score a touchdown, see, I prefer people to boo you. Right, I remember.
I agree with that. I think I've attributed it to Reggie Jackson before, but I think that kind of thing is recognizing that John Madden is the one who I believe told the Raiders this when they would get booed everywhere. If they're not booing you, they don't know who you are.
Yeah, they don't respect you. And so I remember going to the second Giants-Patriots Super Bowl in Indianapolis, and I was with Reebok at the time, and the rep had got us tickets to the Pacers game, and I think they were playing. One of my boys was either on the Pacers or they were playing one of the guys I went to college with at UCLA. So he was like, let's go. So we had tickets and we go, and they showed me on the Jumbotron, and everyone booed. And I was a little offended at first. And he tapped me, he goes, that's called respect.
Absolutely.
I said,
division foe.
I said, you know what, you're right. And I appreciate that. Like that to me is more than anything. Go in someone else's house and score touchdowns and get booed and people talk trash. I mean, you always want the love. But to make people feel sad,
I'd like to think that if your face were shown in Heinz Field, you'd also get booed lustily,
and as I should, for 1 year or 2 years.
Well, those two games in the span of
Yeah.
about 2 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was
when you
crazy.
came in and did the same thing. That wasn't cool. But all right, you know what? I want to talk to you about your Jags. But first, let's react to the last game we saw, Monday Night Football. The Dolphins have 40 put on them in 2 out of 3 games, all 3 losses. I think no more prime time for Adam Gase in 2018. I don't know, maybe they'll get back there, but that season's lost. The Panthers, meantime, sit at 7-3. This is not a bad team, and to me, it's not coincidental that what I've been saying all year long, all the Christian McCaffrey, at this point in Cam's career, they can't let him run around anymore. They've got to find a feature back who can take the load off and all that. And it seems to me somewhere along the way after – they went into Foxborough and beat the Patriots, but they've been uneven at best. And Cam specifically is the guy who's been knocked a lot.
Right.
We've been talking about this for 3-4 years.
It's
now.
crazy.
It's crazy the lack of respect that the world has for Cam Newton, who is one of the most distinct, great talents in my lifetime.
Well, this is my issue. You draft this player because what he was able to do with the ball in his hands. Running the read option. Being 6'5", 250 or however big he is, running the way
biggest guy on the field, as big as anybody out there.
Always the biggest guy on the field. Mm-hmm. Runs the way he runs. When once he gets running, he can throw the ball with the best of them. We saw that. And you try to take that away. You make him a pocket pass.
I get it because
I don't get it.
Because of the invest. It makes sense.
But he's different than RG3.
Right.
He's different than Colin Kaepernick. He's different than these Tyrod Taylor. Because he's bigger than the linebackers that are trying to tackle him. Right? There's only players that are bigger than him are the D tackles. And we saw last night one of them tried to go get him and he ran.
Yeah, but wait. Here's the Rob Gronkowski, Mark Bavaro, Shek's not a great because it's not as physical a sport. But the guy who is here's a good one, Mario Lemieux, my favorite athlete of all time. When you're the big Eric Lindros, when you're the big guy, it doesn't make it seems counterintuitive that the biggest guy, he won't get hurt. He's just hurting everybody else. But you just take constant blows and trying to knock you down.
Well, what Cam does, he's smart. He's smarter than Joe Flacco, where we saw last night T.J. McDonald tried to end him. He came in, and Cam got down early and slid, and they got to barking at each other a little bit. Cam's not going to take unnecessary hits unless he has to. And those hits come inside the red zone when every quarterback is taught. When you're inside the 20 and you take off a run, you try to score. Right? So you go and you see Josh McCown diving over. You see all these guys reaching over. That's taught to every quarterback. So that's when he takes his chances. Any other one on the field, he's smart. He slides. He gets out of bounds. Right? On the big fake, they did it was like a 3rd and 1. He faked the ball and was running full speed. And the guy ran up on him. Cam, the old Cam probably would have tried to stiff arm him and score. He ran out of bounds. He knows, in his mind, I have to take care of my body in order for us to win. So I think there are times when he'll be able to do that, and he's smart about it. He showed his speed and his agility going on that 69-yard run, one. And then there's another time where he ran and he hopped out of bounds. Another time he slid. And there's other times where he's going to drop his shoulder on the goal line and score a touchdown. That's what he has to do.
Well, like I say, he's one of the most distinct talents pro football has seen in my lifetime. And for better or worse, you have to cut him loose. You must take the risk that he might get hurt. And I hear what you're saying, but all right, so listen, he's done for the year. He got beaten up last year. This is what you must better work. That's how you have to play Cam Newton. You cannot transform him into Peyton Manning. And a pocket passer with lethal accuracy. That's not his game.
No, there's a reporter last night. I just remember hearing it saying like Cam went to Ron Rivera and was like, "Let me be me." Don't let me be me so we can win. And at first I was thinking, like, was he saying let me have fun on the field, or is it let me, be boisterous? Or no, he was saying let me run this rock because I'm the best runner we have.
Well, and by the way, that makes Christian McCaffrey more effective.
Jonathan Stewart all of a sudden starts breaking big runs. Then your passing game opens up because now everyone's loading the box. He makes everything go. It's similar to Le'Veon Bell. When Le'Veon Bell gets going, guess what happens to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's right.
It doesn't matter. If AB can do his thing all he wants, but the team will struggle. We've seen that when Le'Veon's not playing well.
I love the way, it's interesting because in college football when I was growing up, regions defined style.
Right.
And now everybody just plays the spread in college, basically, pretty much.
Most.
And in the NFL now, you see these different looks. And the Panthers are doing, I love seeing that triple option. They literally run a triple option where they put it in the Stewart's belly and then
McCaffrey swinging out.
Right, and Cam rolls with him and can pitch it or turn it upfield. I mean, that's hard for an NFL defense to stop. And by the way, they're faster out there, but the hash marks are closer in than they are, so that gives you more room if you're Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey to make your hay on the outside.
So, and I was coaching high school football 2 years ago for my high school, and we were playing running quarterbacks. And I told the coach, I was like, Coach, why? If the quarterback wants to run, just treat him like a running back. It's simple, And I had to take him back, and we had to go watch tape. And on my phone, I went on YouTube, and I found the Ravens-Niners Super Bowl. And that year, the Niners had been killing everybody with the read option. And Terrell Suggs did – remember, because the next year he got in trouble for it.
I remember this exactly because I asked Suggs about this.
He hit Colin Kaepernick every time he went to the read option. Yep. And they pulled it out of the playbook because guess what? You're putting your quarterback in harm's way.
It's funny to me that's how you stop it, is you smack the QB and break his will from doing it.
Well,
that's right.
You don't break his will. The head coach is like, well, I can't get this dude hurt. And so he does it when Chip Kelly brings it to Philadelphia. Remember, they were like, oh, he's a dirty player. No.
I thought it was bogus. What do you hit? What do you hit Sam Bradford in August?
Well, he's trying to run. Right.
I know, but it's all
so what happens if Sam Bradford breaks a 50? You're going to get yelled at meetings. No. And so what happens is you eliminate that read option by hitting the quarterback every time. Yeah, he may hand it off. But guess what? Every time he gets in that thing, he's going to be thinking about me just running into his legs.
One of the great – I don't know why. When people do their lists and they're upcoming in about 6-8 weeks from now, everybody's going to the greatest Super Bowls of all time. People always forget that one. That was such a great game. And by the way,
it really wasn't.
No, it was.
Remember, someone was getting blown out until the lights went off.
All right, well, that makes it intriguing. And then when the lights do come back on, Haloti Ngata goes out, and then they do go back to that option, and Colin Kaepernick starts to torch them. He starts hitting Vernon Davis. What a great game. Anyway, let's the Panthers, one more question about them, and then let's talk about the Jigs here. The Panthers, are they relevant, or is this a weird, fraudulent 7-3 in your book?
No, they're relevant.
You think they can go to a Super Bowl this year?
I think the way.
How about the Super Bowl?
I think the way their defense is playing, they can do it. Because what happens is, and we were talking last night. I was talking with Mike Robinson last night, and he was like, "I like a quarterback that's just even. I just need to know what I'm getting." And I'm like, "No. I like a quarterback that's give me some real high highs. It's my job to keep him up there, keep his play up here. But then every now and then he gonna dip, and it's my job as a coach. I love the challenge to have players that are emotional and play with their emotions on their sleeve. Because if I can keep you up here, I can get 15-1 in an MVP, right? But then if you're down here and I'm not doing my job, then we're down. That's on me as a coach. So I love the challenge to get a player like this. Anyone that comes like this, you're going to be fine. But that's all you're going to get.
I get it. I get though. It's the old gunslinger versus game manager debate. I
need me an emotional guy.
Speaking of gunslinger, that's cut Cam loose. Whatever happens, however it turns out, you got to let him play his kind of ball. I don't know how you integrate this, but to go back to Ike, of course, weighed in on the Steelers. I think that they need to do that as well. I don't know how you integrate letting 7 run around some and extend plays. But this get the ball out of your hands quick method is not. I mean, people are scratching their heads. What's wrong with Roethlisberger? I think it's that. I think he's the kind of guy. I mean, we know that that's what kind of guy he is. He's better when he's running away from some stuff. He made a couple of special plays in the game-winning drive against the Colts, a bum Colts team, but nevertheless, he ran away from pressure, held onto the ball a little bit longer, and then he makes those playground plays in Antonio Brown and Le'Veon
and
Bell.
That's what they're used to doing.
I think I don't know how you make that happen, but that's what they need to do. All right, the Jags. Now let's talk about this because I said to Ike, and he quickly shot this down. What are you laughing at?
I winked in the camera and they turned it off.
You broke it. Yeah. I said this to Ike, and he didn't think that this was true. I say the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars I didn't say they will, but I think they legitimately have a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
I believe it. How many teams do we see go to the Super Bowl with a running game and defense?
It's important to note. I also think the Minnesota Vikings can't go to, or can't go to the. It doesn't end with Case Keenum holding the Lombardi. The season does not end.
So it holds with Blake Bortles holding it?
Well,
or is it Leonard Fournette that's holding the Lombardi?
It's more likely that the Vikings, by a whisker, but still, it's a little more likely that you could see Teddy Bridgewater holding the Lombardi.
This is what
Case Keenum is a backup quarterback. He cannot he is not going to go 16 or not 16 games, what's it been, 13 games or so, 12, 13 games. He's not going to do that. Then win the playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, and then win. He's just not. And here's the difference.
I can't say I don't know if he can or he can't. What I can say, is that the NFC, the one thing about the NFC that the AFC doesn't have is they have potent offenses in the NFC. You look at it, I mean, you're talking about the Rams, the Saints, who don't even throw the ball anymore and scoring 47 points. I mean, some of the bigger point spreads are coming from the NFC.
Hold on a second. The Patriots, the Steelers are
a
sleeping giant.
They haven't scored 40.
No, you're right. But okay, the
Patriots did it just recently. But look, Carolina's done it. I mean, so you're gonna have to get into a situation where you're gonna have to shoot out. The same way that the Vikings beat the Redskins, right? It was a shootout, 30 to 37 or whatever it might have been, 30 to 38. You're gonna have to score points, and consistently can Case Keenum do it? And that's the question. I don't know if he can consistently do it.
I mean, listen, is he?
But he does have weapons out there, though.
I get it. Yes, he does. That's true. But the difference is, and how can the same person say the 2017 Jags can go to the Super Bowl, but the Vikings? Because here's the difference. And it really does make a difference. The Jags are dominant on the level, getting pretty close to the 2000 Ravens, to the 2002 Bucks, to the 2015 Broncos. The Vikings with Mike Zimmer, everybody loves to talk about it. That defense is great, legitimately.
They're good. They're really good.
But they are not dominant, turn you over, take it to the house. No. We don't need to give it to you, offense. We're just going to house this one for you.
And so I think that's where, for me, and if the Jags don't turn the ball over, which it's hard to do in this league because sometimes you have a quarterback that tries to do too much, starts to believe the hype, turns it over. But when you have a dominant defense, the way they're playing, they can shut down anybody. I mean, it gets to the point where you're just surprised teams are scoring on them. Like, wow, really? That happened? And the way the Chargers scored, it wasn't Keenan Allen. It wasn't Travis Benjamin. It wasn't anyone. It was their backup running back running routes on the linebacker who got picked twice on routes, right? So literally you have to devise and scheme to a guy that you don't even know is going to be able to make plays because they're shutting everyone else down.
I know. I get a lot of pushback on social media when I say the Jags can go to the Super Bowl and I say, well, listen, Trent Dilfer went there and
Joe Flacco went. Let's be honest.
I know, but I have a working investigation, and I don't know if I'm able to discuss it here publicly right now because it's an ongoing investigation. But I do believe, with a decade's worth of evidence, I think for 1 month the Ravens somehow got somebody into Flacco's uniform, an impersonator.
No question.
I don't know who it was or what the motivation was to do it, but somehow they put somebody who wasn't Flacco and claimed it was Flacco. Because how else do you explain the performance? Because on either that outlier performance does not measure up with what happened before or since.
In the regular season before, right? And then all of a sudden the playoffs started. I'll say this. He had one play that defined everything. It was in Denver. He threw the Hail Mary, and the ball goes over the kid's head, right? And then that changed everything. Then they're like, we got a chance. But still, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. Like,
he goes into Foxborough and wins. He beats a great 49ers defense in the Super Bowl. You expect me to believe that's the same guy as the one who I see throwing the interceptions, those terrible balls in 2017? Come on. I wasn't born yesterday.
Me either.
Who's this? Look who it is, everybody.
Colleen.
So happy to be here. She's wearing velvet.
Down.
She's wearing crushed velvet.
It must be nice.
All other football show hosts are crushed by the immense talent. The hard-charging star of Good Morning Football, the weekend edition of Power Rankings and beyond. Huh? She sits in first place. Everything's coming up, Wolfe.
A Philly girl from the very start. You know Rocky Balboa in the Museum of Art.
All right, it's enough. We don't.
Every
time.
It's
enough. We pumped her up enough. Here she is.
Hi.
How are you, the Wolf?
I'm great. What's up? My asthma's bothering me a little bit, but other than that, I'm good.
I don't have makeup on today, so we're all going through something.
It's tough. It's a struggle.
The Wolf, great stuff. Good Morning Football, doing gangbusters, I understand, in the ratings.
Thanks. It is. How crazy is that? It's everybody tell your friends and watch it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a really great show, yeah.
I'm available. I know you had Maurice in.
Just come with me.
I know Ike shows up like 3-4 times a month, too.
He does.
Put Shek in the suitcase?
Yeah.
I'm
going to put you through, like, the security. I don't check bags, so you're going to have to be carried.
I like to do stuff on the weekends. I'm free. I'm active,
Yeah, you got to be.
So let me know. Anyway, the Wolf. So what we're talking about is, by the way, in the meantime, on the bye, your Eagles more or less cinched the NFC East.
Yeah, how about that?
It's all but a wrap on that division.
It's great. Every single team lost in the NFC East.
We're talking about this, though. The Minnesota Vikings, the Carolina Panthers, everybody calls the Eagles the best team. Do you think, first of all, that the Vikings and the Panthers are scary teams?
The Panthers, before last night, I was still a little skeptical of them, but also it's like the Dolphins looked so bad.
You got to beat them like that, though.
I know, exactly. So I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better. Their defense, I knew all along, that's amazing. They're number one ranked. They look great, especially with Luke Kuechly back. And I think, now that for some reason, it just works, getting rid of Kelvin Benjamin. All they wanted to do was focus on speed with Funchess and get Curtis Samuel involved.
Fast, though.
He's not, but they looked faster last night.
I just feel like they let Cam be Cam finally.
That's right. That's right.
We just talked about it. You just let Cam be Cam because before they were trying.
And that's part of the speed element too, because of him running. He looked so quick.
He did.
Great, by the way, great X and O breakdown by Ike Taylor. We do them every week here in Studio 66, and he focused in on the Saints' run attack. Addition by subtraction, shipping off Adrian Peterson and Kamara and Mark Ingram thriving now. And Ike did a nifty little breakdown on what exactly they're doing, so look for that on social media. Should we just get to are the Saints the biggest threat to you, though? The Wolf, is that who you scare the most?
We got to talk about the Saints.
Yeah.
Let me say it this way.
The Saints are, for
Let's say it this way.
Are you kidding me?
No? Or the Rams. The Rams and the Saints.
You got to come to L.A. and see these boys.
December 13th.
Are you going to be there?
I'm going to see.
Let's all go.
What time is that game?
It may be flexed. It may be
if it's flexed, I'm going.
Ooh. You know what?
Hopping on a 12 o'clock
flight. Is that the same
flight.
week that the Steelers are playing the Patriots? That could be two massive games for seeding. We'll see
I'll
about
just
that.
tell you this. The Rams, watching them play, I was down early on. I was literally upset. The 6 yards in the first quarter, what's going on?
Yeah.
This isn't the team that we're used to, and the Texans did a great job of jumping on them and kind of putting them in a situation they haven't been in a while, where there's a little adversity.
That's right.
You're playing from behind, and then one play. That's all it took.
Let me ask you this, the Wolf. Think about it in these terms.
Okay.
You have the number 1 seed. You're in the title game. What team do you most fear coming into Philly?
Coming into Philly, I mean, you know what? I guess it is the Rams.
No, well, I don't know, because the Rams haven't played in the cold yet.
Could be the Seahawks.
But I also am like,
could be the Rams.
I've been looking at the different teams that the Saints have won against and the different quarterbacks that they played leading up to this past week. And it's like they had Jameis Winston hurt. They had Brett Hundley. They had Cam when he was just coming off of the shoulder, and that was before he went up to New England and beat them. I mean, he had Mitch Trubisky. They had Mitch Trubisky. It was just a lot of different quarterbacks that weren't really a threat. So
they beat Tyrod up pretty bad.
Then that came.
But who's scared? The Vikings are coming to Philly? Is that
Vikings
scary
would
to you?
scare me. Yeah, the Vikings
Saints?
would scare me. The Saints.
Who do you want?
Defense,
You get who's the one?
Who do I want? Who would I want?
Out of these teams in the mix, the Seahawks. You don't want them coming in.
No, but they're banged up now too.
All right, but they're still going to the postseason. How about this?
Are they?
The other way, I think they
bringing in Byron Maxwell.
Remember, they still got to play Philly. They have a.
You know what? Who's the other one?
They have to play a lot of tough.
Let me tell you one more. Who has been a dormant threat so far this season, and I mentioned this to Ike, and I'm going to mention it to you now. The Atlanta Falcons.
They have been dormant.
That's right. That defense, talk about speed. You might get 3 teams from the NFC South going to the postseason.
That's crazy. The team I would not want the Eagles to face is the Vikings, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. The defense scares me too much.
Case Keenum?
Yeah, but he's been playing well.
I try to tell people that. I said it on Power Rankings.
Yeah.
They were like, Drew Brees better than Case Keenum better than Drew Brees? Yes. Look at the stats.
Case Keenum, he's not playing. A sexy name, but he's having a really hot year. Like, remember when Ryan Fitzpatrick did it?
The name is pretty sexy.
In 2015?
Yeah.
Remember when Nick Foles did it? I mean, you have these random guys that will all of a sudden just have a crazy year.
But Nick Foles didn't win the Super Bowl.
He didn't.
And neither will
But
Case
he also
Keenum.
didn't have the pieces that the Vikings have. He didn't have that defense.
Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs were taking turns whooping Josh Norman this weekend.
They might be the best wide receiver duo in the league.
And Adam Thielen doesn't get any love. Any love.
Best receiver duo in the league.
Like right now.
More than half.
Production-wise.
Well, it's either that or the Rams have some guys.
Yeah, the Eagles aren't bad. The Steelers listen,
There's
Juju.
only one. Juju, yeah.
Juju won that game, but he was the MVP of the Steelers offense in Indy. He made some big-time catches and plays. All right, you know what? Let's get to it here. The weekly Q&A.
It's time for the Q&A. Here we go.
What do you say? It's going to be a great day. It is time for the Q&A. Why don't you like that better, the Wolf? That's a fun little ditty.
Well, I like when you chime in. I don't enjoy the sound of my own voice.
That was like rapping. That was like you and me doing our version of a rap.
A lot of people
I guess that is our rap. We're rappers.
Talk
now.
about this real quick. Why don't women like the tone of their voice? I hear people say, "I don't like my voice." Well, you've been hearing this your whole life. Like that's what it is.
Well, I think it's quite stunning the first time you hear your voice on tape. It
sounds different.
I don't know very many people who do like their voice once they hear it for the first time. Like, oh, that's what I sound like to the world. But on the other hand, when we're talking about the 5 senses, it's weird to me that people do have the gift of sight and they look in the mirror on their way out the front door and say, "Yep, this is what I'm going with, world. Check this out." Like Maurice today. Look at him wearing a kale shirt. That was his choice.
It's a vegan.
Didn't happen.
Hell
he made that choice.
Vegan. I love it.
I'm trying to,
Maurice,
change the world.
You are.
Maurice promoting his new lifestyle, his vegan lifestyle.
That's good.
It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle.
A lot of people doing it now.
Andrew Kimball on Twitter asks, who will be the defensive rookie of the year and who will be the offensive rookie of the year? Maurice, I'll start with you. Take your pick, offense or defense.
Offense, I would have to say we talked about this.
Give me, by the way, Emma VP or Spaghetti, anybody behind the glass there, shout out some names so we don't forget.
Well, no, offense, I was going to say Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of taken over the reins because Kareem Hunt had some bad couple games right before the bye. And so this last one is like new and fresh in everyone's mind where he's playing the backup role. But, I mean, they're splitting carries and he's tearing teams up. And then really, there's like offensively. I mean, obviously it would have been Deshaun Watson.
That's the thing. It's like it's the way that he performed at the beginning of the year.
Before that, Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette's been quiet too.
Yeah.
But I think that if in fact
If it was
they
today.
soar the way I think the Jaguars are, look at their schedule and then tell me that they ain't going to the playoffs or that they are not a legitimate threat. Certainly, if the by the way, Thursday night a huge seedings game in the AFC. Titans
we
at
need
Pittsburgh.
y'all.
Yeah.
We need
Well,
y'all.
yeah, one way or the other. But by the way, as a side note, the Jags and Titans both appear to be almost certainly going to the postseason. You know? I mean, if you look at it realistically, who's jumping over them? The Bills, after what you saw the Saints do to them, do you buy in that team
I think
anymore?
the Bills are still in the wild card because there's so many teams that are
Right,
4
but
and
do you
5.
buy that
Yeah.
team can hold on to that looking like they have?
No, I don't. But I love this year so much, and I hate it so much all at the same time. Like, I'm so conflicted because of all of the injuries and the way that it's sort of shaped the playoff picture. But also, it's way more exciting because there's so many teams that weren't supposed to be good that are so good right now.
New teams.
Here's an
Fresh
obnoxious
blood.
one. What about Ryan Ramchick? I don't know anything about the offensive line
Oh.
play, but if they're running the ball like that, no matter who you hand the ball off to,
Yeah, I mean,
it won't happen.
Filling
I
in
mean,
for Teron Armstead at the
trying to be
beginning of
a-
the season.
yeah,
He's
I'm just
played
trying
at
to be a-
guard and tackle,
Yeah.
Ramchick.
Who's the defensive rookie of the year?
who's on defense?
I don't know.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Oh,
that's who
yeah,
it is.
that's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Tre'Davious White, maybe?
No, Lattimore's the one.
Lattimore is going to win it, I
Because
think.
he shut down Mike Evans. He shut
Yeah.
down. I mean,
Steeler fan MVP shouts out TJ
Mike Evans
Watt.
tried to shut him down.
Yeah, Mike Evans tried to end him. TJ Watt hasn't made a play since week 3.
Oh, stop
Yeah.
it. That's real. Oh, yes. Jamal Adams, MVP, comes up with
Jamal Adams is a good one too, but I still think Marshawn Lattimore because he literally, because of him, you can like look at that defense last year, and because of him, literally they're better because what they are able to do, what he's able to do on number 1 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Next question comes to us from, how do you categorize him, MVP? Or actually, better yet, Colleen the Wolf. Do you know Ryan Cabrera?
Baseball Ryan Cabrera or the
Oh, that's
isn't he like filmmaker or he's in a band or something, right? I'm totally embarrassing myself. Is that what's happening right
no,
now?
you're embarrassing Ryan Cabrera.
I know football. I don't know anything
MVP.
else.
MVP or Eddie Spaghetti? Tell us about his bona fides.
He is a singer-songwriter.
Ah,
He's the one that was in the Peyton Manning commercial.
Is the Wolf so old that she miss that window?
no.
MVP, were you a
I don't know.
Cabrera guy?
No, not a Cabrera gal. Eddie, big fan though. Eddie Spaghetti behind the glass.
Who's
Big
that?
fan.
Who is this guy?
What's his sound? Well, the Spaghetti.
What's his
How would you
song?
define his sound?
So, like,
Actually, Spaghetti
acoustic?
Spaghetti did a hard-hitting interview with Ryan Cabrera that we'll play in full for you later. It's currently available on social media.
I did, yeah. He was a great guy. I'm not a huge fan of pop music, so
That's what he is, pop music.
Oh.
international pop star, yeah. But I do remember his stuff playing on the radio as a kid.
Like
What?
what?
Like what's one?
I think it's called "All the Way Down." Is "On the Way Down"? Sorry, "On the Way Down" is his big hit.
How's it go?
I don't know it. Erica Tamposi was singing it.
I'd
for
like to
us.
hear you try to sing
Yeah,
it without
please.
knowing the tune. Just make it up then.
I think it's like "On the Way Down," and then it's like the rest. That's like the.
No, that's not how it
That's
goes.
it.
Not
That's
on the
all I
way
know.
down. That's the rest. That's not the song. Go ahead and try.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, I think.
You know,
Yeah, is it sort of like a little bit alternative, like
Yes.
alternative pop?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
because
Spaghetti, try to sing it again, please.
I really don't.
Well, make up a song called "On the Way Down."
On the way down, I saw you, and you saved me from myself, and won't forget. It's too long for my melody to go. I don't know it enough.
Please continue.
I'll learn.
I'm no cheater, but I'll try to meet ya in the. Something like that.
Probably better than me.
Racial roots aligning is number one dude on the blue line. All right, sit.
So that's Ryan Cabrera.
That was terrible.
Disgusted with your effort.
I know that's what disappoints
It's,
me.
it's
as
never
well.
about the
You need to
result.
read
It's
Maurice's
it's the
book.
process.
You got to buy in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm about to publish this thing too. Y'all gonna be sick when I do it.
The truth is, I just didn't want to embarrass myself because me and Ryan kind of hit it off, and I didn't want to offend him by singing the song improperly.
Are you kidding me?
It's all right. You got a yes and everything.
Is that what you go with?
Yes,
That's how you
that's
compete?
final answer.
I know the Rangers ain't going nowhere then with that type of effort.
That's right. Well, it's
He's
good
wearing
enough.
a Rangers hat.
Good enough. That's what Eddie
they can see it.
Spaghetti
They can
and
see
his
it.
Rangers are like.
Yeah, they no effort.
By the
And
way,
then they make excuses.
while we have Spaghetti on the microphone, let's ask him this: do you agree with ownership's decision on your beloved Giants to say like, yeah, well, listen, we got to keep Ben McAdoo?
You ever seen? What's the movie? Where the guy like it's 3 guys? It's an old
3 Men and a Baby.
3 guys.
It's not that. It's like a mob movie.
Lethal Weapon 2.
No,
Because then they have Pesci in the back seat.
and he kisses the guy.
Godfather?
It could be the Godfather, and then like he goes in the room, and then there's no one in there, and bow.
Oh, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Ah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he
Not
just got
Godfather.
the kiss of death.
Yeah, he's gone.
It's over.
There's nothing we can do about it.
We're giving him our full support. That means if he can't turn this thing around, we're giving him everything he can.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. It's been
Yeah, that's
it's
exactly
been
right.
great.
Yeah. Hey, Coach McAdoo, go ahead in there. No, right in there. We got a prize for you for the season.
The pit of misery.
Dilly.
Do you think, Spaghetti, that Eli Manning is the quarterback of the New York Giants in 2018?
Yes,
Do you?
I do.
Interesting. How say you,
What
Maurice?
did he say?
He says yes. He thinks Eli's still the quarterback there.
Yeah. It's not Eli's
He's
fault.
not going anywhere. I don't
This
think.
is what
You agree too, the
Yeah.
You know what I tell people? Tom Coughlin wanted a certain type of locker room, right? And that locker room, they have a lot of personality, similar to the Jags, but they have rules. And rules that are in place where if you break them, if you bend them, if you touch the rules, you get fined like that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Where McAdoo comes in and he tries to do something a little different, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. And when you have guys like that and you don't have rules and you start suspending players, you've never seen Tom Coughlin ever suspend a player. Ever. You'll never see it. He'll just fine you and he'll tell you, look, double next time.
That's what Victor Cruz said. I mean, he was like, whenever anybody came into a meeting late, I mean, he wouldn't even blow up their spot. He would be like, good morning, and then they'd go back to their locker, and there would be a fine there.
Like he's real simple because he understands what it takes to win, and he sets a standard and expectation. There was no standard expectation when Ben McAdoo came in because he's taken over what Tom did, and he just kind of tried to loosen up the reins a little bit, and boom.
Do you, because we talked about this a week ago with Ike, Bert Breer, our old pal now over there at SI, said that this all goes back to letting Odell Beckham do stuff. It seems like you're almost supporting that.
No, it has nothing. Like Odell Beckham did the same thing with Tom Coughlin, and they were fine. Some people, this is what I've come to realize. Some people aren't head coaches, right? A head coach has to be personable. You have to be able to talk to people, deal with different personalities.
That was Chip Kelly's problem.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's problem in this league, where you can't sit down and talk and have conversations with guys because you're so into the football and you know, and then all of a sudden, the first time, like, so you don't suspend, and this is the other thing, you don't suspend Odell Beckham, but then you suspend
Janoris Jenkins. Yeah.
That's going to separate your locker room immediately. I mean, that's the first thing that does it. If you're going to treat or if you have to set that standard. We were talking.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson did that.
Yeah, if you're an A player, you get a little bit. You need to get some passes.
Right.
But if you're a B player, no, you get nothing. You get nothing. And if you're a C player,
so the requirement is that you say that up front.
In
hey,
the very
listen,
beginning.
if you're key to this team, you can do as you please. Show up.
If you're not.
Interesting.
Wow.
All right, let's get back to
the
it then.
standard.
Here's what Ryan Cabrera wants to know.
You're stuck on an island. You got 3 songs to take with you just to listen to over and over on repeat. What are your 3 songs? It's going to tell me a lot about you, so choose wisely.
That's heavy stuff. Look at that head of hair on
I was gonna
Cabrera,
say,
by the way.
I didn't even hear the question.
You're just looking at the wave on top of his head.
I was like that there reminds me of Jimmy Neutron. Does it not? Can we go back and play it again?
I'd like to see Maurice with that head of hair. I wonder who would wear that head of hair best, me, the Wolf, or Maurice?
Look at that thing.
Yo, my hair was that short at one point.
Was it? You had a little rooster?
I cut all my hair off.
Move
had the
over,
rooster?
Bieber. That thing's
That thing is nice.
that's cartoonishly big. I couldn't
is.
make that.
I wonder, does he wake up like that, or does it take time to get it done?
Can I tell
It's
you
probably
something?
really flat.
If I could dig up the photos, when I was about 18 to 21-ish, boy, I had I could the front. I didn't have long hair in the back, but I did have that very 80s kind of really kind of bushy on top.
Mullet?
No, not a mullet.
Reverse mullet.
No, yeah, I had a long hair. Like I had.
Interesting. How'd you style it?
I was very handsome. I, like kind of like
Let's talk
that. Not
about how
that high.
handsome you were.
Well, I was nice looking, ruggedly so. I would never call myself a pretty
were you
boy.
more
I
of
was
like
Cut his
Julian
mic.
Edelman? Were you more of a Julian Edelman rugged, or were you more of a?
Edelman counts as rugged.
I mean, with the beard and the mustache, he has a little like.
He tries to
I'm
be
like,
rugged.
I'm like, as I've said before, I
tries to be
embody
the guy in
the.
Grease.
I've got a lot of the reckless kind of unchecked sexuality of Brando in Streetcar. Like that's what I.
We don't know.
I've got that.
Who's
like,
that?
look out, Stanley Kowalski.
Who's that?
Streetcar Named Desire.
So the songs that
Raw.
Yeah, right.
He's
Anyway,
raw.
the songs.
Look out! Not to be trifled with.
3 songs that I would
Okay.
have to, if I was on an island.
Okay, I got to.
I mean, to be honest, I don't. I mean, you'd have to give me a little Closer to My Dreams by Guaple. That's always a good one.
For the rest of your life, this is one of your songs.
That's what, because that song there just kind of sets the mood. Because I'm there, I ain't going nowhere. So hopefully I got somebody with me. We can get a mood set or something. If I want to get the party started,
well, the answer is yes.
Obviously, yeah.
Right. I don't know. Like I'm more in this mellow. I was just talking.
Yeah.
I'm more mellow now. So I think I'd have to go with a Drake song. Probably Drake's song called 4 p.m. in Calabasas. It's a great one. Get that in there. And then to remind me of my kids, I'm going to have to go with it's by 2 Chainz and Gucci. It's called
To remind you of your kids and you can't remember it.
It was going in a really sweet direction. You remind me of my children, my beloved
2 Chainz.
Yeah, 2 Chainz and Gucci called Good Drink. And that'd set me good.
So let's see. I would go with
beautiful homage to your.
That's amazing.
My children, they love that song.
There's
Or Bank Account by 21 Savage.
That's a good one. That would be a great one.
That'd get me like really too turned up though.
Yeah. See, I think I'd have to go with. You know what? I'm gonna go with a Meek Mill song just because of
free him,
you know
free
what?
Meek.
Free Meek Mill.
Free Meek Mill.
It's ridiculous what's going on.
That's right.
So let's maybe a little Blue Notes.
Okay.
Do that.
I like his 1942 though.
Oh,
That's
man.
a great one.
I love Meek Mill. I like Meek Mill. I love Common. I love The Roots. Like it would have to be some Mos Def maybe, like something in there.
Be careful.
Miss Fat Booty maybe. I don't know. All right, so
Beef.
that would be one, and then
Never felt squarer.
I love.
Colleen opened my eyes
Apparently.
to a different side.
There's this song called "Foreplay" by Jalen Santoy. I played it on the set a couple weeks
thought it was
ago.
by R. Kelly.
No, it's not.
R. Kelly
That's a
got
good
one
one.
called 12 play.
And my third one would be 1977 by Ana Tijoux. She's a Mexican rapper, and it's awesome.
Oh.
This is for the rest of your life now.
Yes. I listen to it all the time, and it's been years.
The song that my kids and I love listening to, they have all their songs that they have. They have their own Spotify playlist in my car. I'll put our songs on. We got to listen to, it's a lot of tween the teen pop kind of stuff that they like, but they love the song. They think it's very funny. I Used to Love Her by Guns N' Roses. I used to love her, but I had to kill her. They think that's very funny, but that's not making my list. I just wanted to point that out.
Shout out Cardi B too.
Oh,
You gotta put Cardi B on there.
Here's my old.
I know almost every word to that song.
Everybody, I think every male in this world knows every word.
So
to that
good.
song.
Old White Man List begins here. Tuesday's Gone by Leonard Skinner, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You're not going with Bodak Yellow?
Yeah, you're not gonna go with the Bodak Cardi B.
I think that
Bank
perhaps
account?
the greatest song ever recorded, or at least recorded in the last 60, 70 years, Blackbird by the Beatles.
No,
a good one?
Not at all. I
don't
you
even
may
know.
need to
Not
put
at
some-
all.
You need to put
Not at
Rihanna
all.
in
Yeah.
there. Put some Rihanna on that thing.
I feel embarrassed. I have nothing good
If
here.
you know what? If I'm
How
gonna
about
be on
Warren
island-
G?
How
Regulators.
about Kicked in the Sun? Built to Spills, Kicked in the Sun. I like that
No,
one. Perfect.
You might as well. You're playing Rock Band on the island. We're not doing that. Give me
Torn and Frayed by the Rolling
Rosa
Stones.
Parks?
give me the by Outkast.
Yeah.
Or give me the Chronic.
Oh,
Give me the whole album.
I love that whole
I'll
album.
take the whole album, baby. Give me the
Game isn't take the whole album, and why is everybody pumping fists back there?
Because because they all know what we're talking about
Yeah.
except for you.
I know what you're all talking about.
It's Dr. Dre. It's called the Chronic or the Chronic 2001. Where
That one.
I think
awesome.
you know what? I think everybody
Expectation.
behind the glass just told on themselves. And
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know
sending
what
this tape to the commissioner. Immediately.
Okay.
Drug test.
Look at the Eddie Spaghetti gave me a thumbs up. No, I'm with you, Dave. I'm with you.
Don't put my look. He's nervous. He's nervous.
I'm with you and Ryan Cabrera. All right, one more.
Okay.
In the Q&A, and I really like this this question that arrived just this morning. Always drop us a line. Hashtag DDFP. Right, that's the best way to get us the Q&A there, MVP. Just DDFP. We'll track it down. This one comes from Andy Lemire, I think is his name. Which 80s QB would be the best in the NFL if they were to suit up right now? You know the names.
I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was
somehow they left Marino off this list. But
well, he ain't win no Super Bowl.
Maybe he would now though.
Who's Sims? Which one's Sims?
Phil.
Phil Sims. Oh, okay. I didn't know that's how they spelled his last name.
It's not. It's SIMMS.
That's what I thought. You see, I was wrong. Steve Young, I think he's the last left-handed QB to play in the league ever, right? Or no, his son, Sims' son, right? Was he left-handed
Chris
too?
Sims? Yeah.
Yeah, he was like they don't last long.
Why is that?
I don't know, right? But think about that. It's weird.
Mike Vick was fine for
but that was like
years.
We just named 3 quarterbacks in 40 years.
He also had a little bit of a break too.
And he also was like 4.43 speed. I mean,
man, he was so good.
I'm just saying, like, it's not like left. I don't know if I could just say a left-handed. So I'm gonna just scratch Steve Young off. And he played for the Niners, so he's off.
I mean, technically 80s QB Joe Montana, but I don't know how good Joe Montana. I don't know that Joe Montana necessarily
is he, because people are trying to say he's Alex Smith. Like,
well, more and more people. There are a lot of offenses that favor the way the Patriots play.
Randall Cunningham? He's not.
They don't push the ball.
That's what I was in my head.
I would say Randall Cunningham would fit this.
Wouldn't he be great?
He'd be the perfect quarterback in the spread-like system with the read option and throwing the ball in that athleticism.
Somebody'd break him though.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He didn't really get. He played when the game was at his roughest.
Yeah.
Right, and he really didn't get hit like that.
Can I just say, because Randall Cunningham in that Kelly green uniform is like that was like my childhood. I don't understand why they don't do
Bodak yellow.
That and Bodak yellow. I don't know why they don't do throwback uniforms on Thursdays instead of Color Rush.
This has been suggested by
Throwback Thursday and then do Color Rush on Monday.
The Czech Republic has thrown this out. I love that.
I think that would be tremendous.
But not everyone has throwbacks though, right?
Most teams do.
Do now.
You could do it from any era. I mean, even if it was just like something that was recent. But I mean, like think about all the Broncos
the
and
Panthers
think about the
have never
Patriots.
Changed their get-ups, but your Jags have.
Oh, we got all time. We got it. Whatever if you want it, we got it.
Yeah.
I mean, they came out with the teal.
Not one good one either.
Man,
you crazy? That teal goes crazy, and that black on black. Tell me the black on black when we used to beat Pittsburgh all the time.
That's a cheat.
Okay.
It's a cheat. Anybody could do that. Who wouldn't? Of course, it looks fine. This is
black pants one of my. And the teal shirts were arguably the better. The teal tops are. The better ones.
Is that 90s or early aughts? Like, is that
what the
color scheme?
No, we did it a lot in 2006.
Yeah, but let me just tell you, no offense, Maurice, you and everybody else in that uniform with the black satin finish pants with that run into the black socks. Little jazzercisey looking.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, well, look up. Go watch an episode of Fame.
Are you a fan of the Bumblebee uniforms?
I love them.
And what Packer uniform would you call their throwback?
I like their. I'm not in love with that navy one they wear with the.
I love khaki pants.
That to me, that's throwback. Like that's what it used. Because remember,
we don't have to throw it that far.
There's like leather helmets all of a sudden. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they used to wear, right? They used to wear because they didn't back in the day. They wore like what do they call it, knickerbockers? Mm-hmm. Is that what they wore?
Yeah.
And then they had just like regular shirts. That's what that to me is a throwback.
Do Steagles.
So Randall Cunningham, it's a great answer.
Yeah. That would be. That's the one.
A good NFL quarterback right now if you dropped him into the league. Warren Moon. You know what, though? This name a list. Obviously, we're cherry-picking the best guys from the decade, but John Elway would not struggle in the NFL right now if you dropped him into it.
I don't know. Depends on where he'd be.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What team do you think Randall Cunningham would be
it's
best
a fair
he
point
can play
because
for everybody. He can do all. He can play every scheme. You could do the Denver Broncos, old Shanahan, play action pass, bootleg scheme. He could do Tom Brady, stand there because we've seen him stand in the pocket.
That's true.
He can dunk. He could do the read option with Cam. I mean, he can do literally everybody's offense. You can even do the Jags offense where you just turn around and hand the rock off. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the easiest one, right?
Yeah.
But I just think he's fit. He can fit everyone's scheme.
Who would be the best quarterback in 2017 if you sent him back to the 80s? Who would be the QB? Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. No.
I think that's an interesting.
No.
I mean, Brady.
No. Because you got to be mobile back
He
then.
better be, yeah. And
You
Tom
gotta be-
Brady
Yeah,
better
yeah,
be.
yeah,
You better
yeah.
drop him into a Bill Walsh team because not everybody.
Deshaun Watson.
It has to be a bigger quarterback
Russell? Oh, Carson Wentz.
like that. Big like
Yeah.
guys that can take hits.
I mean, the best quarterback of all time is Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget about 12 because he's
Who?
he's on the IR. If
He ain't playing right now. No disrespect, AR. I love you, but when you ain't on the field, we can't. The quarterback for the Packers is who? Brett Hundley.
Why are you making the U?
That's the real you. You don't spell Miami with a U.
I forgot. I forgot.
UCLA. Let's go.
All right, one more question for us.
You know.
The Pie Off will be
God.
unveiled. Pie Off 6 coming at you 1 week from today.
I'm gonna miss it.
When
I'm
is
so
it? Is it on
upset.
Tuesday?
It's coming. Yeah, it's next week. 1 week from today, you will have it for your consumption. Next Wednesday. Oh, the day before Thanksgiving.
It's next
Appropriate.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Man, y'all tripping my grandma. I can't fly her down and then fly her back.
If you wanted to
Oh,
be
I
a
thought it was
champion,
next
you
Thursday.
Man.
Well, all right, listen. It's going to be gangbusters as always. We have a question here from the aforementioned Oakland Raider, TJ Carey.
With Pie Off coming up, tell me what's your favorite pie?
Oh, I love that hat.
Look
though.
at Ike in the background.
Yeah, I
there.
know. That dude, he was styling. He should saw his shoes.
Yeah, I know the hat was strong.
Oh my God.
I've never been like a pie guy per se.
I'm a chicken pot pie person. I
That-
love chicken pot
You can
pie.
make a savory pie. That's fine.
I brought one last year.
That's not no. You
In the
bought a
microwave.
pizza pie.
That was the year before.
That was a garbage move by the Wolf.
I ate all
It's
of
a
it.
pie. That was the first pie to go.
Yeah.
So
Let me just say this about
saying
Pie
people's
Off,
choice.
because people like to be very competitive about the Pie Off. Some people. Other people understand the true spirit of it. 6 years ago was let's create an excuse to get as many pies in one place as possible and then eat those pies.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is
It doesn't matter who
literally
wins. Who
robbed
wins? All of
Iztuk
us.
2 years in a row.
What?
You've robbed Mark took 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Iztuk is a hard luck loser.
I mean, his
mean,
pies have been amazing.
I'm talking about the effort that he puts in, like the little details that he does.
I know.
He made a football pie.
Like
And he just like
he might care the most about
It's-
pie off.
It's not a referendum on the person. It's
It
just
is.
on the pie. That's all it's about.
Well,
People
taking
think it
that
has
up with
to do with
Iztuk.
other stuff. The Blue Ribbon Panel one has made mistakes.
You made a bunch. Because I don't know how Hans just has a chance. I know his mother-in-law and his mom and his wife do it, and that's awesome. But you can't let them guilt you into winning, because that's what he tries
Guilt
to
me into. Well, there was
He does try to guilt you into a victory.
in Pie Off 3, his mother-in-law did overnight a pie from Texas to my hand, so it was ready to go. I mean,
See what I'm
Wow.
saying? That's
I mean
guilt.
that
That's
is
guilt.
effort though.
That
Like
effort-
that's points for effort.
No, it's not. That's called guilt. Because what if the pie didn't taste good? I'm not saying it because I tasted the last one.
Iztuk's like the Michelle Kwan of pie off. Like he just never
made
wins,
three.
and he's always like so good.
He
The
made
Susan
3
Lucci.
pies.
The one that the sad one was 2 years ago. He made something from Fuku something, famous restaurant in Momofuku
Oh,
in New York City. He made this chocolate pie that was extraordinary. The Blue Ribbon Panel gave it to Deeker, and then like 20 minutes later, the Blue Ribbon Panel realized it made a mistake. But you can't go back, you know?
Yeah.
You can't go back. Can't live life in the rearview mirror.
no,
Can't
Best
take it
pie, the
away.
Wolf, chicken pot pie.
chicken pot pie.
If you just said I'm not going to give you a taste test, that's the only pie you can ever eat. If the standard is you can't order any other pie, if you're at a holiday thing and there are like a bunch of pies, the only one you can eat is the one you name here. I would say pecan pie.
Really?
I'm disgusted with you.
That's the one.
I'm
that
just
wins
saying if
every
I
year.
can only eat one pie for the rest of my
I mean, if people should just make pecan pies then, for you.
I feel like it was pumpkin pie.
I don't like the fact that my list
Mississippi
of,
mud
of
pie?
songs got just basically dismissed. I don't like. Everybody's cheering Maurice Jones-Drew.
No, we're
Woo,
cheering- we're
woo, we
cheering
love
Kane.
the Chronic, everybody, but Dave makes a couple of nice songs.
Free Meek Mill.
Yes.
Free Meek.
All right.
Do it.
You got to say that so the people can chant it.
Free
Free
Meek Mill.
Meek Mill.
Free Meek Mill. Free Meek Mill.
That's right. Cardi B, you still on top of the charts, girl. I can't believe it. That's song.
She be in and out them banks so much they know she's. What is it? They know.
I don't know it. Go ahead.
It's I be in and out them banks so much I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't.
Yeah, it's gonna get going. You better hurry up and close it.
Uh-oh.
Let's get out of here. All right.
All right.
I'm going to raise the roof. Whoop, there it is, right? That's what we're talking about?
How about salt and pepper?
Hey, we'll be back later in
God.
the week. In the meantime, thanks so much, football fans.
That's amazing.
And ale fans. Been a thin slice of heaven.
I'm vegan, y'all.
Ale.